Welcome to Breakthrough Conversations with Coach Pete, and I'm Gloria Lybecker. I've been really thinking about something lately. I've had several fun things that I could do and a few that aren't so fun. And then I'm like, okay, which one am I going to do? And so here you are. Here's a dilemma. I have more than one choice. And if there's too many of them, then I don't want to do anything. What comes up for you hearing that kind of a problem?
Yes, making choices, making decisions. It does crop up, I think, all the time. My clients, in me, um, for sure. How do you make decisions? How do you make decisions freely, as opposed to we think we make decisions, but sometimes they're based on history. They're based on, patterns. So how do we make free decisions, free will decisions?
Well, how do we make conscious choices? Full, that have that my heart actually has a full yes to this rather than kind of like, oh, well, okay, that's not a full yes. And am I even aware of how I'm making my decisions? Or am I unconscious about it? It's just like you were talking earlier. It's like, it's just what I do. And there are people that's what they say. Well, it's just who I am. It's just what I do. And it's like, well, I guess that's who you'll always be then. Do you want to grow? That's kind of a question to ask yourself. Um, and if you do want to grow, what's your dream?
Yeah,
So
great question. I happen to believe, I don't know if you will agree with this or not, but it might be interesting to talk about. I believe we don't really have free will or free choice
oh,
until we take a look within ourselves, until we take a look at the patterns of behavior, the patterns of decision making that we've had forever. Then, once we understand that, then we can begin to exercise free will. Because I know in my life, well, you don't know. In my life, I made a lot of decisions along the way, career decisions, moving decisions, all kinds of decisions that affected me and my family.
oh yeah.
And I thought they were conscious decisions.
Mm.
However, they weren't because they were kind of trapped in old patterns. And until I learned that, took a look at what the patterns were for me,
Mm.
then the puzzle pieces fit together. And then I could move forward and break some of those patterns and truly decide freely. What do you think about that?
I love it. I really do. And for me, I have slightly different language because that's what I do. But
Sure.
um, I call them shadow beliefs. They're in the shadows. So it's kind of difficult to really hear them or recognize them or see them or own them, you know. And they are fundamental from when we were first born and growing up and we were innocent and we were like a sponge and we just like took on stuff that wasn't really ours. So many times those patterns or those shadow beliefs, they're not even true. And when we can begin to recognize them and see where they even, well, we don't even have to see where they came from, but when we can recognize them, and for me, coming back into my own heart, it's not congruent. It doesn't match, but it's pattern and it's a strong pattern. It can be really deeply embedded. And I can recognize it and that can be okay. I don't have to get mad or I don't have to judge it or blame it or try and get rid of it. I can make, as you said, I can choose to go after what I really want anyway. I take my power back. So I think that's really how we can make choices. For me, is I love what you said. We do need to be able to recognize where we've been and know where we want to go, or we're just moving in an oscillating pattern. What do you
Absolutely.
think of that?
I love it. And I always love how you phrase things based on your training, your experience, your life experience.
Mm.
And I always love that about our conversations because there's different ways to
Yeah,
not only look at things, but express what we're talking about. And
absolutely.
both are valid, works for you, works for your clients, works for me, works for my clients, and we learn from each other this way.
We
I think
do.
it's really important, this idea of making decisions. Are they our decisions? Are we making them freely? Are we choosing? Or are we just following a pattern? Important questions.
Yeah. So I invite our viewers to take a moment and to consider, how do you make your decisions? I mean, even about how you get up in the morning and what you choose to do first, second, third. I mean, those are deeply ingrained patterns. They may seem really simple, but they are really excellent ones to begin to explore and to come into choice.
Yes.
Thanks, Coach Pete. I sure enjoy you.
Same here. I love it. Thanks.